Life often teaches us the hardest lessons in the quietest ways. We spend our days chasing what we don't have, while ignoring the blessings that already surround us. This is a story about a young man named Arman, whose life seemed complete to everyone else, but felt empty to him. He had a good job, a loving family, and a home that provided comfort and safety. Yet, every morning, he woke up restless. While sipping his morning tea, he would stare out the window and think about what was missing: more money, a better car, a bigger house, more respect. He rarely noticed the laughter of his family, the warmth of the sun, or even the simple pleasures that filled his life. To him, happiness was always in the next step, the next achievement, or the next milestone. Peace was something he assumed would come later, but it never did. Next door lived an old man named Elias. He had very little, but he lived fully. Every evening, he would sit outside his small home, watch the changing colors of the sky, and hum quietly to himself. He smiled at everyone he saw and spoke only when necessary. Arman, curious about Elias's calmness, asked him one evening, "Don't you ever feel unhappy with such a simple life?" Elias smiled gently and said, "I used to, but I realized that wanting more every day made me blind to what I already had. Happiness comes when we stop chasing what we lack and start noticing what is already ours." Arman nodded, unsure of what to think, but the words lingered in his mind like a seed planted quietly, waiting to grow. A few weeks later, Arman visited his old friend Karim, who had once lived a life full of wealth and luxury. One sudden misfortune left Karim with nothing. Arman expected bitterness, frustration, or anger, but instead he found calm acceptance. Karim shared softly, "When I had everything, I ignored my health, my family, and my peace. Losing everything forced me to see what truly matters." Arman felt a quiet unease. He realized that perhaps chasing more had cost him peace. He didn't even know he was losing. Back at home, Arman observed his sister, Lena, who had always complained about her job, her daily routine, and her home. Then one day she fell ill and was forced to slow down. Weeks of quiet reflection changed her completely. When she recovered, she no longer complained about trivial things. She spoke softer, smiled more, and appreciated simple moments. "I didn't realize how much I had until I couldn't do simple things," she said. Watching her, Arman felt the stirrings of understanding he had been blind to. One afternoon, Arman saw a young boy playing with a broken toy. The toy was scratched and incomplete, yet the boy laughed freely, as if it were brand new. "Curious?" Arman asked him. "Why are you so happy with that?" The boy smiled and said simply, "Because today I can play." That simple sentence struck Arman harder than any advice. Joy, he realized, doesn't always come from having more. It comes from noticing what is already there. Then life taught him another lesson. Someone very dear to Arman passed away suddenly. In the silence and grief that followed, regret became loud. He remembered the rushed conversations, the moments he had ignored, the gratitude he had left unsaid. Pain stripped away all distractions and forced him to confront a truth he had been avoiding. Life is temporary, and peace is fragile. The moments we ignore today may never return. Slowly, Arman chose to change. Not dramatically, not overnight, but honestly and quietly. He started noticing small things. The aroma of tea in the morning, the sound of laughter, the beauty of a quiet evening, the kindness of friends. He didn't stop pursuing goals, but he no longer allowed them to steal his peace. Each day, he felt lighter, calmer, and more present. The restlessness that had shadowed him for years began to fade. Over time, Arman realized that gratitude doesn't remove struggles, but it changes how we carry them. Enjoying what you have doesn't mean giving up ambition. It means valuing your life before it slips away unnoticed. He understood that happiness is not in getting more, but in noticing and appreciating what is already here. Life, he realized, is not about the endless chase. It is about quietly recognizing what you already have and letting that recognition shape your every moment. From that day onward, Arman lived differently. He worked hard, dreamed bigger, and planned his future, but he also paused. He watched sunsets, laughed with friends, and thanked life for every ordinary yet beautiful moment. And in that pause, he finally discovered the peace he had been searching for all along. Gratitude, he learned, was not just a feeling. It was a choice. A choice that could transform emptiness into contentment, restlessness into calm, and ordinary life into something extraordinary.